All right, so this is the last unboxing portion of our Wave 4 stuff. It has been a long road. For those of you who are at home, it is literally almost 3 in the morning when we're recording this. We did this after a tournament. We were going to just come back the next day, and then we decided, nope, we're just going to stick it out. So if we're a little bit loopy, it's awesome. We'll get to talk about the kind of the goofiest, wackiest, craziest ship that we have so far, and that is the TIE Phantom, which I think so far is either a crowd favorite or a crowd, I hate this stupid ship. So let's talk a little bit about it. First off, let's talk about the model itself. What do you guys think?
I really like it.
Yeah.
I think it's streamlined, and I played I think it was like Rebel Assault 2, the game where it came out like a long time ago.
Sure.
And yeah, the ship's small, it's cool, it's aerodynamic, which helps for me. But yeah, I just like it.
That's cool. Yeah, it's I love the model. I think the model is really, really cool. It's small. It's a cool play on kind of TIE fighter design in general. So yeah. I really like it. The model itself is beautiful. So
yeah, and in comparison to other TIE things, it's very sleek, and it's, I mean, it takes up so much less space, but it looks so great
and scary.
Yeah.
Like, I think it looks scary.
It's
like
aimed right at you,
like just knives coming to your
that.
face.
Yeah. Could be the TIE knives instead of the TIE Phantom. No?
I think it's probably my favorite model of Wave 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Fun. So let's talk a little bit about the dial. So dial is basically a TIE fighter dial. It doesn't have a 5 straight, but apart from that, it is basically a TIE fighter. I don't know if there's really much to say about the dial itself. I feel like we should sort of move on to the kind of the meat and potatoes. Can we start talking about the stats and some of the actions and stuff? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Please.
So starting cost of 25 for the Sigma Squad pilot. It is a 4 attack dice, 2 agility, 2 hull, 2 shields, focus, barrel roll, evade, and then what is this? It appears to be a cloak action, as well as it also has sensors and a crew, and then 2 of the pilots also have elite pilot talents. So,
well, so before we get to the new hot thing,
the weird thing, sure.
If you just saw this all by itself without the extra action, neat stuff,
sure,
would it be the best or the worst? Because it's the only ship with 4 attack dice.
Yeah.
But also, it's only 2s the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think?
So for 4 attack dice, that hasn't happened in the game yet. You're paying a premium to get like heavy laser cannon range 1 just to get 4. Now it just comes with 4 base, and you get 5 at range 1. So that's amazing. But yeah, at the price it is, with only 2 hull, 2 shields, it's gonna die fast.
Yeah.
Right? If that's all it has.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not all it has.
I totally agree. And even with the dial, I don't know. I don't even know if it would be. I don't know if it'd be worth 20. Maybe it would. I don't know. It's a good thing we don't have to live in that world.
Hey, but guess what it has?
So yeah.
What is it?
It can cloak.
No.
So let's talk a little bit about cloak. What does it do? What happens when a ship cloaks? So it takes a cloak action.
It keeps it warm, right?
Right. It puts on a cloak, and
like
it's able to be warm.
It's like Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, there. Harry Potter reference.
Man.
You're a wizard.
You're a wizard.
Phantom. You're a wizard.
You're a wizard?
You're a wizard. Whisper. Yeah, I did it.
You're a whisper phantom? What?
So the cloak action. What does the cloak do?
It makes you invisible.
Right. Okay. So when you cloak, you put a cloak token down on the table. You can't fire, but you get 2 extra defense die. So 2 extra agility die. And so that's cool, right? So it means you can move around, extra defense, some fun stuff as far as that goes. What if I want to shoot again? Anybody?
Got a decloak.
Okay. So how does decloak work?
So decloak's pretty pretty amazing. So in essence, what they did is they made it feel like wherever the Phantom is on the table, it's not really there. It's someplace around there, but you're having trouble tracking it. So when it decloaks, it can either barrel roll to the left or to the right using the 2 movement template, or it can do a straightforward 2. And this is before you reveal the maneuver dial. So then you get to do your actual maneuver after that. So it can take up a lot of space, or it can just move kind of wherever it wants to be in this proximity area.
Yeah.
So it's just so many options.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I also feel like it's one of the best implementations of just kind of theme, and it really does feel like this ship is somewhere in this range of places, but who the heck knows where it is?
Yeah.
When you're firing at it, it's really hard to hit, and then out it pops from the clouds way over there, and then it comes at you from the side. Like, it's cool. It's so neat.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, way fun. So as far as and then on top of that, it also has a 4 attack when it does come out of nowhere. So that's really cool. Thoughts on Cloak, or just let's now maybe just talk about the Phantom generally right now. What are your guys' thoughts? So obviously a lot of stuff going on with the Phantom.
I mean, it's like a super interceptor.
Yeah.
It can move where it wants, it can get around, and it shoots harder. Granted, it's more points, but it can do so much with movement.
So we should note that first, the Sigma Squadron pilot is a pilot skill 3, which is amazing. Starts at 25 points, and then if you move over to the Shadow Squadron pilot, it is a pilot skill 5, which is awesome. So obviously, first 2 non-unique pilots, the lowest to be a 3, and then the highest to be a 5. Not only is that cool because it's new and unique, but also because of kind of some of the unique things going on with cloaking and the Phantom to begin with. So what are your guys' thoughts on Shadow and Sigma?
I'm definitely liking the 5 because since this ship works on maneuver, you really got to go after all the other generics move.
Sure.
So you do have to play a little bit of a bidding game because you will go after all the generics, but you go before all the good or higher level pilots.
Right.
So it is a little bit tricky, but yeah, being able to shoot at pilot skill 5 with a few ships is pretty nice.
Yeah.
The first one we have is Echo. He is a pilot skill 6. His ability is when you decloak, you must use the 2 bank left or 2 bank right template instead of the straight template. So...
Well, just way crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Have any of you guys had a chance to see Echo in action or play with Echo
I've
yet?
been able to play with Echo a little bit. It was really interesting because Fantasy Flight made a post on their forums where it's like, you can literally, from this point, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different positions.
Yeah, absolutely.
With a decloak, and then do other actions. So it's like, here's this overlay, and it's pretty much this whole area is where Echo could be.
It's like half the board.
So it's
Well,
like,
and on top of that, that's 6 positions for the decloak, but then it's also doing its maneuver and its actions where it can barrel roll it. Like, it can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
And with the banking, it's really easy to get onto flanks or something because you can just bank to the side and then turn around. All of a sudden, you're more or less behind them.
Right.
Or it can even bank back and then turn, and it's almost kind of like shifting backwards and strafing. So.
Yeah, incredible. And obviously a really great anchor, especially if you're going to end up using one of them. I mean, obviously he's incredible.
Yeah.
One of the things that scares me about this guy is that it's so cool, the ability is so neat, that someone that's inexperienced with him is going to just say, I want to play that, and not really practice with it. And I think this is probably the first time a ship really lends itself to needing to be practiced with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you need to sit down at a table by yourself and just throw some asteroids out there and see where this thing kind of ends up on the table, because it's wacky.
Yeah.
It really can.
Yeah.
The 2 bank barrel roll is so unique because I think the first time I did, I almost parked it right on an asteroid.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So.
Well, and I was going to say, with the Phantom in general, but specifically with Echo, you just have to think so much about every thing you're doing, because you do have so many options, and it's thinking about this and then like the next thing. So like you're thinking about a couple moves down the road. Like I'm gonna decloak and move. I hope over here, and then my new maneuver is gonna go here. So it's a very thought heavy ship to fly.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so Whisper is pilot skill 7, 32 points, and the special abilities, after you perform attack that hits, you may assign 1 focus to your ship. So I think one of the biggest things is high pilot skill Phantoms are really like that, so Whisper is the highest, but being able to get an extra focus token for when you're getting shot back, often when you're cloaked, we'll talk about that in a little bit with mods, but having an extra focus for a lot of green dice is really helpful.
Yep.
All right, so those were the pilots. So let's talk about some of the upgrades.
Yeah.
So the first one we have, we've seen before, fire control system. After you perform an attack, you acquire a target lock on the defender. It's helpful, good.
I really like it for the Phantom because
Yeah.
the Phantom does not have a target lock built in, so it's a way to self-provide a target lock and staying behind somebody and keeping that target lock going and getting the rerolls.
Yeah, and I mean, on Whisper, he's already potentially getting free tokens along the way. Getting another one is just an added bonus for the whole attack, or the whole combat phase.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we'll see with the upgrade cards in general is there is this theme of the Phantom is pretty starved for actions, but here are some ways of giving it actions if you pay some points for it. So, cool. Next one up is the Recon Specialist. Recon Specialist is crew. When you perform a focus action, assign 1 additional focus token to your ship. Obviously seen it before, great. Cool for the Phantom because obviously, again, like we said, good for that as well as for evading later in the round, especially if it's vulnerable. Really helpful to have that. Or even just enriching those 4 evade dice as well because it's kind of a, it's only 4 hit points. 4 evade dice can betray you, as anybody who's ever run a stealth device knows. So, yeah, cool.
He is a crew card as well that costs 2. He says, after you perform an attack against a ship inside your firing arc at range 2, that ship receives 1 stress token. So, he's cool.
Yeah.
He's really interesting because he's a free way to cause stress to your opposing ships, but he's also very, you gotta really know where you're going with him because he has to be at range 2. You can't do range 3. You can't do range 1. So that's an interesting kind of little piece to the puzzle for a tactician.
Yeah, I don't know that I love it on the Phantom. But I don't know where else it fits. Like it definitely fits on the Phantom in the sense that it's a good thing to have. And if anybody you're going to be able to kind of eyeball where you're going, the Phantom is going to be that ship. But it's just kind of a weird. I mean, range 2 is just kind of a hard place to get specifically. Ranges are easy, like 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 or something like that. But it's harder when it's just range 2. I mean, it's great, but it's also harder.
Yeah.
Nice part is he's super cheap. Well,
yeah.
At 2 points, there's very few other crew at that. Plus, it's going to work really well on a fire spray.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it work out the back?
Should, yeah.
Okay.
Inside your firing arc, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about it. I mean, this is a long way away, but for a B-wing who may one day be able to have a crew member.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Stygium Particle Accelerator. So this is a modification. When you either decloak or perform a cloak action, you may perform a free evade action. So I think this is going to be really nice on the lower level Phantoms. It's cheap, it's 2, and it's pretty much only for the Phantoms currently because they're the only ones that can cloak decloak. But yeah, getting a free evade almost every turn because you're either cloaking or decloaking, very solid.
Yeah.
I mean, evading is a good thing to do.
Yeah, and especially for some of those other skills. Again, like we've talked about, like getting free actions out of this, getting some free evade for the kind of lower pilot skills is huge. So
yeah, I think it's a really nice discount for the Phantom because for 2 points, as soon as you use the evade once, it's more or less like a whole device.
Yeah.
Or a whole upgrade, and this is only 2 points compared to 3.
Yeah,
and it's reusable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Cool. I will read the super cool advanced cloaking device because it's obviously, yeah, it's awesome. Advanced cloaking device, TIE Phantom only modification, 4 points. After you perform an attack, you may perform a free cloak action. So obviously great, especially for the higher pilot skill guys, because you're decloaking in the activation phase. So when you're moving, you're decloaking then. If you're higher pilot skill, like say 7, 8, 9, you're even maybe 6, I guess, you're able to kind of attack before other people, and that way you're getting those evade dice, early on. So
yeah, it's just such an amazing upgrade because you pair it with a veteran. So like you said, you go last, so you get to see where everybody is. You decloak, maneuver out of their arcs, shoot, and get back into cloak. You have 4 dice, but then the best thing is you can immediately decloak again the next turn.
Yeah.
So you're just moving all over the place constantly.
Yeah.
And being extremely hard to hit.
Yeah, I mean, this basically, for all intents and purposes, turns the Phantom into what is the equivalent of a 4 attack and 4 defense ship for most turns. He's going to attack for 4 and then immediately have that cloak again and have 4 evade dice. And that's cool.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic, obviously, as far as that goes. So that is everything that's included, though I have some questions for you guys. The first one is, let's talk really quickly about the lower pilot skill guys. I think even kind of in the first couple weeks that we've had this out, we've seen a lot. I mean, the Phantom is probably the big thing that everyone is paying attention to. Yeah. Anti-Phantom lists, pro-Phantom lists, everyone is Phantoming right now. Let's talk really quickly about the low pilot skills. Are they out? Like, do we not care anything about the lower pilot skill guys? So non-Whisper and Echo.
I think they're overshadowed a little bit by the elite ones because you really want to move after you see where other people are. So you just take a really big risk at pilot skill 3 or 5. Somebody else says, "Oh yeah, I have all elite rebel fighters." It's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna get shot. So you can, if you can maneuver really well, you can make them work. But I just think that the higher levels are just a little bit better for a little bit more points. So when you're taking a Phantom, I would probably invest a few more points just to go big.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I haven't run it yet, but 3 Shadows sounds like a pretty fun list.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
for sure fun. I think that one of the hindrances for the lower pilot skill Phantoms is that you only have 60 minutes or 75 minutes in a round, and I see them as being a long game kind of ship where you would really need to maneuver all the way around the board and get far away and behind another set of ships before it can really decloak and do its thing, because it doesn't have the ability to do that advanced cloaking device effectively, So there's a lot of reasons why it doesn't quite work as well, but you're right, it could be really fun to do all of that, multiple ships and see where it takes you.
Is there a Phantom killer? Is there a counter Phantom that also works kind of in non-traditional, or in kind of some of the traditional builds we've seen so far?
Just from what I've seen, like Han Solo with Gunner, really good. Any high pilot skill pilots, like Wedge, Wes, Veteran Instincts, really solid. Anything that causes stress to them, because for the big ones, it's the advanced cloaking device. If it's stressed, you can't recloak, so then you're stuck that whole round at 2 green dice.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go down fast.
We've talked a little bit about this with Veteran Instincts. Other upgrades that you guys are loving on the Phantom, advanced sensors, other things as far as that goes. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, advanced sensors is just always good. Got envious of the B-Wings, so watching them play forever.
Yeah, for sure.
So now Phantom takes it up a notch. Recon Specialist is really nice. Getting 3, in essence, sometimes 3 focus with 4 green dice for a whole defensive turn. It's like, okay, hit me now.
Right.
Also, Rebel Captive is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Rebel Captive is, I think, the most interesting one for me. I don't know. It's not going to be played nearly as much as some of the others, I don't think, but it's a really neat idea to throw onto that thing because it's just an extra stress on guys, and it gives you just that extra advantage in movement when you probably really didn't even need it because it's already
it's going to be so hard to get shots on the Phantom. You're only get 1 or 2, and then as soon as you do, you're stressed. So you can't get another one the next turn. Probably.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, that is fun. So that is the amazing TIE Phantom. Obviously, this has been probably my favorite ship from the wave. It's obviously fantastic, and I think it will be stuff that we will be kind of seeing the effects of for quite a while. Definitely until Wave 5 at least. So exciting stuff. That has been all of the unboxings, all of the stuff for Wave 4. You made it. Thanks for hanging out with us.
We made it.
We made it. Thanks again for everyone who came and hung out. Thank you, Max, and an amazing thank you to Dallas Parker for driving all the way to coming and hanging out with us. This has been a lot of fun, I think, for both of us, and hopefully for you guys at home as well. With that, as we always say, keep playing awesome games.
We'll see you soon.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.